Welcome back to Book Club. Today we are going over Susanna Kaysen's Girl Interrupted. Trigger warning, like all of the triggers. Suicide, incest, drug abuse, self-injury. So if any of those things are going to trigger you, just check out right now. People ask, how did you get in there? What they really want to know is if they are likely to end up in there as well. I can't answer the real question. All I can tell them is, it's easy. So, Susanna is an 18-year-old borderline. She is in a psych ward in 1967, and she has a very loose grasp on reality. Lisa is a sociopath and one of the unit favorites. Lisa had run away again. We were sad because she kept our spirits up. She was funny, Lisa. I can't think of her without smiling, even now. The worst was that she was always caught and dragged back, dirty, with wild eyes that had seen freedom. She would curse her captors, and even the tough old-timers had to laugh at the names she made up. Cheese, bleep, and another favorite, you schizophrenic bat. So, Susanna has been there for a few months, and she is reflecting on when she started to feel herself drifting away. But I wasn't simply going nuts, tumbling down a shaft into Wonderland. It was my misfortune, or salvation, to be at all times perfectly conscious of my misperceptions of reality. I never believed anything I saw or thought I saw. Not only that, I correctly understood each new weird activity. Which self-awareness in insanity is just such a cruel curse. When they say that ignorance is bliss, ain't that the truth? Of course, the book would not be complete without Daisy. Daisy had two passions, laxatives and chicken. Every morning, she presented herself at the nursing station and drummed her fingers, pale and stained with nicotine, on the counter, impatient for laxatives. Yeah. Bat shit crazy. The girl has carcasses of chickens under her bed, and strongly implied that her father has a incestual relationship with her. Speaking of just, crazy bit shit, 5-minute checks, 15-minute checks, half-hour checks. Some nurses said checks when they opened the door. Click, turn the knob, swish, open the door. Checks, swish, pull the door shut. Click, turn the knob. 5-minute checks. Yeah, just absolutely no privacy. These girls are not able to take care of themselves, not able to regulate effectively. There are anorexics there who are being force-fed if they get below specific weights. There are paranoid schizophrenics who will probably be there for life because their delusions make them not safe to the general public. Like, one of the girls there, Georgina, is a paranoid schizophrenic, like I said, and so she thinks that her dad is a part of the CIA, so she always thinks that she's being watched. The movie, which I'm sure a lot of people have seen the movie, misportrays her as a pathological liar. They also they change Daisy's suicide scene. There's no one with her when she died. They change the story of Tori, who, if you remember, when Lisa first comes back from the being caught by the police in the beginning of the movie, she's upset because Tori, her roommate, has killed herself. And that's not the case. Tori is a girl there who her family gets tired of paying the bill, so she gets shipped back to the same abusive hellhole that she came from, with no real expectation of things getting better, but is not dead. So after this poor girl ends up being thrown back into the world, not cured and with no safeguards, Susanna realizes that the world is a tragic place and that there is no quote unquote getting better. I started getting worried. Where were my bones? I put my hand in my mouth and bit it to see if I crunched down on something hard. Everything slid away from me. There were nerves, there were blood vessels, there were tendons. All these things were slippery and elusive. So, not surprisingly, she is put on lockdown. During this time, they have another patient who ends up in Max for being a danger to herself, and they go to visit her and are shocked to find out how much worse it can be. As much as they have been thinking that where they are is a jail, it's really not. They have a TV, they have a cafeteria, they have books, they have phone booths, they have unsupervised smoking, and the people in Max are in cells. They are in padded rooms, and there are bars on all the windows, bars on all the nurses' stations, and they just are prisoners. They truly are prisoners left there to rot away. And I wish I could say that things are different now, but as we know, they're not. In just 2014, Darren Rainey was literally boiled alive. He was in a psych ward and covered himself in fecal matter, which in this book, the girl that they went to go visit, who was put in Max, had also done. And Darren Rainey, real person, 2014, killed. They took him to the showers and they literally turned the water up so hot that it boiled him alive. So I wish I could say that things have changed, but they haven't. They need to, though. These people are people, and they deserve better than padded cells, and they deserve, love and compassion and a quality of life. Susanna starts getting day passes to go visit a psychiatrist in town. She is gaining more grounds privileges. She finds an underground tunnel network that was made so that the hospital employees can move around without freezing to death, because they do live in Boston. The hospital is in Boston. And she has been there for a year now. Now that she's doing better, of course, everyone is expecting her to get a job. And it turns out that, like a lot of mentally ill people, she has a very hard time submitting to authority, respecting rules that don't make sense, and being a sheep. It is just, it doesn't make sense, and it's depressing, and I get it. So, plot twist, which, again, not in the movie. She gets a marriage proposal from a guy that she has been dating while still in the psych ward, but again, she has privileges, so she could go out on dates and stuff. And she accepts so that she can get out of the psych ward without having to, like, be a slave for the capitalist system. Huzzah! Kind of? I don't know. I'm not sure. I feel like this is a win in the war against capitalism, but also a loss for feminism. So she discharges and gets married, and tragically pushes her husband away, like a lot of people with borderline personality do to their spouses. Georgina got out and moved to a self sustained commune and became an expert bread maker. So, Susanna makes a living off of her art and writing, thank God, and seems to have accepted herself for who she is and is happy as she can be. I ran into Lisa in Harvard Square. She had a little toast colored boy with her, about 3 years old. I hugged her. Lisa, I said, I'm so happy to see you. This is my kid, she said. Isn't it crazy I have a kid? She laughed. Yes, Lisa, it is crazy that you have a kid. Truly, terrifyingly crazy. All right, y'all. Hope you enjoyed my commentary. Check out my art in my Etsy, which is right here in the description below. And yeah, I will be back in 2 weeks.